Hey Todd, welcome to Spark Media Conversations.
Yes.
We're glad to talk to you.
Glad to be here.
Jodi, Misty Phillip, and we have one of the OG podcasters with us. Todd, we're at Podfest. What number of Podfest is this for you?
This is number 10 for me.
Number 10. He is 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Wow. So tell us about your podcasting journey. Like, how did you get involved in podcasting?
Really, it's probably too long to tell today, but really, as in a hotel room after suffering a injury and was in the Navy taking care of airplanes, and I heard about podcasting in October 2004. As a failed blogger, and decided, well, I like to talk, so I started a tech show, which led to many things. It was amazing. So I was one of the first 50 or so podcasters in the very, very beginning.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's so interesting too how we take a step and we don't know where it's going. Like you do one thing and then all of a sudden it turns into all of these different things.
Yeah, you just never know where the road is going to lead, and really. I think back, and if I had not suffered the injury that I had and was basically doing supplemental duty in another location, I'd never heard of podcasting. I would still be working on airplanes.
Yeah. Wow. What is your biggest in that time? There's been a lot of changes.
Yeah.
So what do you think has impacted the industry the most?
In the early days of podcasting, it was 90% men. But now you look at this event today, and I think there's more women here than men. So we know from a as a hosting provider, we're seeing more ladies starting shows than anything. So the ladies are outpacing men today in creating content, becoming podcasters.
Yeah, I remember when you came to Spark, you sponsored the first Spark conference, and we were there, and you were surprised at these are mostly ladies here.
Yeah. But I think it's the industry has completely morphed. But in the early days, it was pretty much men. But
geeky guys.
Geeky guys, because you had to be geeky. Yes. But the most important thing to me is we're just looking at the people walking around behind the cameras. There's a huge diversity here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I just talked to someone yesterday from South Africa that come in for Podfest, and that's the thing I'm most proud of, is that we've given a voice to really anyone that wants to tell a story.
Yeah.
So what are some of the stories that women and men are telling today in podcasting? What are some of the topics?
It runs the gambit, and I go back to a year and a half ago. I went to Saudi Arabia to a Podfest, not a Podfest, but a podcast conference, and you would think a podcast conference in Saudi Arabia, wow, why? Right. Well, the country is 63% of the people are 32 and under. And so the government's made large changes there to allow creators to have a voice and be able to do video. And so it's not what everyone would think of Saudi Arabia. And at that event, the women that were there outpaced the men by 2-1 at least. And what I was in sessions where I would talk in front of a whole group or have just basically conversations, they wanted to tell their stories. Some of those stories were maybe tragic in a sense, or inspirational about how they were able, because of changes in the country, to be able to start a business, hire women, become entrepreneurs. So it really runs the gambit from A to Z. And as I tell people they're thinking about doing a podcast, follow your passion. Don't chase a topic. Follow what you're passionate about.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah. So then you get that authenticity.
We absolutely do. And it's better content, because if you can talk about something every day, nonstop, that's what your podcast should be about.
Yeah. We were having dinner with some friends, and they were telling my husband, because he does barbecue smoking,
Sure.
He was like, you need a barbecue podcast.
Absolutely.
To tell us all the things. There's a podcast for
not a
everything.
bad idea, actually.
Isn't there literally, I saw business, bourbon, and cigars yesterday.
Yeah.
It's I think there is a podcast literally for everything.
And you consider where we're at today, where you don't know what to trust.
Yeah.
You see stuff on television, or you see on YouTube or wherever, and I think podcasting is a medium that the audience learns to trust you over time, and they are you are built into their lives.
Yes.
I think we've all experienced it. We're walking around and having a conversation with someone grabs you and says, "Oh, listen to your podcast." That happened to me in O'Hare a few years ago, and they know all about us. We know very little about our audience besides them being fans. So I guess if you're going to create content, make sure you get to know your audience the best you can, because for me, they're part of my family.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, let's talk about Podfest for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me why you come back. You've been coming here for 10 years.
Yeah.
Why do you come back?
Besides the fact that we're exhibiting, I came last year not as an exhibitor, but this is where the indies come. And we have finding a lot of brand new folks that are trying to decide, do I want a podcast, or maybe I've recorded some and they're trying to get off the ground. So this is truly a show where there's a huge number of indie. There's not a lot of corporate coverage. Of course, there's sponsors here and exhibitors, but other events, you may have side rooms where there's special meetings. None of that's going on here. There's a lot of just one-on-one in the hallways and sharing, and that's really what the community is about.
Yeah.
And they come here to get educated.
Yeah.
And that's the most important part.
Yeah, and I love how inclusive Chris is to everyone.
That's
everyone.
right.
And you were talking about the diversity a little while ago.
Yeah.
He's built an amazing community, and so we're so grateful for him and what he's done. And we're grateful for you and the work that you've done to help podcasters. I host with Blueberry and love your services. And so tell our friends where they can find you.
It's very simple, blueberry.com, Blueberry without the E's, because, well, frankly, the E's cost like over $2 million. So Blueberry without the E's. I'm Todd at blueberry.com, and any of my support team are there to help. And as we say from our support line, you sometimes just got to call a friend for help, and that's what our support team does. So,
I love it.
But feel to reach out. And again, Todd at blueberry.com, real easy.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thanks for all you do for the industry, Todd.
Thank you
Thanks for
so
being
much
with
for
us
having
today.
me.
Yeah, thank you, Todd.
All right.